Good evening. A very warm welcome to all of you. Hari Om. Please come. Let's invoke the power of joint prayers. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya. Sahana vavatu sahano bhunaktu sahaviryam karavavahai tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. O Lord the Almighty, the omniscient, the omnipotent, the omnipresent, who also has a divine name, Mahabhogaha. To such a Supreme Lord, together with devotion, faith, and complete surrender, we offer our humble salutations. To seek His grace, His mercy, His benevolence, His kindness, His love, His affection, His forgiveness, His strength, His resilience. O Lord, we beseech in You to enhance the divine qualities of Shraddha, Bhakti, Jnana, Vairagya, Prapatti, and Mumukshutvam. All these qualities are only and only to understand Thy true self. In this very heart, to have the self-experience of Thy nature. Without these qualities, I would not be able to have the Aparoksha anubhuthi, So we again and again beseech in you, please enhance the qualities, the divine qualities. Our humble salutations to the Guru Parampara. And we pray that at the end of our lives, we reach thy heavenly abode. Om Tat Sat. Today, by the grace of Almighty and the blessings of the Guru Parampara, we are on our Divine Discourse number 398 on the 15th of October 2024. Krodinama Samvatsara Dakshinayana Sharadrutu Ashvayujamasa Shukla Paksha Bhaumavasare Trayodasyatitau Purva Bhadra Nakshatra Vriddhi Yoge Taitulakarane. On this auspicious day of Tuesday and the auspicious time of the evening, we all make a pledge, knowing very well that whatever is happening in this entire universe is guided, crafted, curated, mastered by the Almighty. In accordance to this, whatever comes to me in my life, be it by an incident, an occasion, a happening, or a situation, be it by a person, place, or an object, I completely trust and believe that this beloved Lord of mine has curated only and only to uplift this jiva from this ocean of births and deaths. Having known this fully, I reciprocate by accepting without any complaints, without any exhibition of fear or anxiety or worry. And that is the way I'll be showing my true bhakti to the Lord, of complete surrender and acceptance. I pray again and again to the Almighty to keep this faith and this path enlivened and enhanced. Om Tat Sat. Good evening to all of you once again. So, now we are going much deeper. As you have seen since the last few shlokas, Lord Krishna is trying to slowly imbibe that sense of direction. Now, what is this sense of direction, the so-called sense of direction we are talking about? Everything goes in an orderly manner. It has to go by a proper sequence, a step. And so, as you have seen, let's go a few shlokas backward. Say we start from 24-25. He says, he first gives us a kind of a carrot. He says, to attain that inner peace, you always want peace, isn't it? To attain that inner peace, you must let go of the worldly desires. And to let go of the worldly desires, you have to control your senses. And to control your senses, you need to have a focused thought. And to have a focused thought, you need to have determination. See how everything is interrelated. And with that determination, now this jiva, it directs its mind towards the divine. That's all what exactly we all are practicing. Where did it start? It starts with this determination of the mind. So then, now when this restless mind, earlier it was restless, now after withdrawal of the mind, the senses, now when it is restless, it goes back to the Lord and it stays focused over there. That's told in verse 26. Post that verse 27. Now this yogi, his feature is he has a calm mind. And additional feature is he has restrained passions. And how is his life? A virtuous life, experiencing joy and recognizing the interconnectedness of the jiva and the Paramatma. Verse 27. Beautifully now he moves ahead. Such a yogi, by mastering himself, aligning with the divine, now the yogi, he frees himself from the material distractions and discovers that ultimate bliss. See where the journey started? Now he's in a position to free himself rather, I would say restrain himself. And then at one point, you don't have to restrain also. Initially you need to do that, but later on everything comes very casually. Then in verse 29, which we learnt in the last discourse, 29 and 30, now when this mind is with harmony, through his yogic practices, he moves one step ahead. Now what is that one step ahead? He is seeing divinity within himself. The buck doesn't stop here. After seeing divinity within himself, now the yogi starts seeing that same divinity in all beings. Now this is a difficult step. By my understanding, you have to start this not with the ones whom you hate or you kind of, who are not so good to you. Don't start with them. Start with your own closest family members, your friends, close ones. You will be able to connect better. Yes, the divinity in me and my child, the divinity in me and my so-called closed one, a spouse, a parent, a well-wisher, a friend, a guru, connect. And then see that divinity extended. The reason is, it is Advaita, the one and only power in the entire universe. Now that has to be understood. So for that you have to first divinize yourself and then slowly start seeing that divinity in your near and dear ones. So now that he said in verse 29, and he moves forward to verse 30. He says, those who see me everywhere and see everything in me, he makes a proclamation. He says, if you are able to do this, my child, my dear, then you are never lost to me. You are never lost to me, and I am never lost to you. He creates that bond over there. He gives that assurance, that commitment. If you come to this state, first see divinity within yourself and slowly start seeing that same divinity in others. In others in the sense in everything around you, not just others. Then move on to the plants, the animals, the insects, everything. All what we see, we perceive, we experience, he finally comes to this state saying, it is that divinity and divinity alone. There is nothing else other than this. You can keep this in your mind firmly, well established, concretize it, because that's what our further journey going to be. Divinity we have all seen and we are almost there, but now the next step is going to be to see in everybody. And after saying this, now let's see what he says in verse 31. I'll take you to verse 31. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Sarvabhutastitam Yomam Bhajatyekatvam Mastitaha Sarvata Vartamanopi Sayogi Mai Vartate. So, now I'll give you a few references to this particular shloka that can enhance our understanding to much greater levels. Sarvabhuta sthita yomam bhajatyekamatva astitaha. Now, sarvabhuta sthita means what? Situated in all beings. Now, what we are saying, we have moved one step ahead. This indicates that the divine presence of that Lord Krishna resides within all living entities. And there is no doubt about it. We are made up of atoms. Go to the grassroots level, cells, and in the cells you have atoms. And you take any creature which is created on this planet is again made of atoms. So he's saying, when you see that presence of divinity, that Lord Krishna, who is residing in all these entities, Yomam Bhajati, who worships me, he refers to that yogi, who has dedicated his worship and devotion to that Lord. See, we all worship. We all have devotion. But we don't have the vision of the Lord. So he says, Yomam Bhajati, who is devoted, who worships, Ekatvam Astitaha. He says now he is established in that unity of divinity. So this signifies that yogi has attained that consciousness of oneness with the Lord, with Lord Krishna, recognizing that presence in every aspect of life. This we have heard earlier. Now, what is different over here in this particular shloka, which we have to understand, is Sarvataha Vartamanopi Saha Yogi Mai Vartate. He says, Sarvataha Vartamanopi means though engaged in all kinds of activities. See, we are all having different activities. Somebody is a teacher, somebody is professional, somebody is working in a company, somebody is engaged in business, somebody is taking care of the house, family, children. Now, when each one is doing different roles, so he says, despite being involved in various tasks, responsibilities, this yogi has remained centered in the divine awareness. This comes by practice, purely by practice. There is no doubt about it. But I'll tell you my own experience. In fact, this led to my downfall. In the world, in business, I would say, you look everybody with that same divinity and then they take advantage of you and you're gone. Because you are practicing what you have learnt. Initially, we are not that smart where we can switch. When you initially start, you with that blindfoldedness, you go into that practice. By that time, you are already fooled, and it has greater repercussions. But I should confess and say that not a point 0.000001 I don't regret about it, because eventually the Lord made good for all that was lost because of this kind of an exercise. So sarvataha vartamanopi, he is engaged in seeing that divinity centered in every being. Yogi mai vartate, he says, now this person, he dwells in me. He clearly says, such a person who can see this divinity around, practice this. But I can only say, even if you lose, no harm, you will be made good, compensated. But this practice is very, very essential. Seeing that divinity everywhere. And then once you see that divinity, मैं करूँ हरि का चिंता और हरि करे मेरा, मैं करूँ हरि का चिंतन और हरि करे मेरा चिंता. That's it. I only keep praying to God. My chintan is always on that Hari. And my chinta, my chinta, what is that? My worries. Let him take care. Because I am only thinking of him. So when you go on these lines, he says that although this yogi is participating in each and every activity required to be in this world. See, now this is from the grahastha aspect. We are not talking of any sannyasi or anybody who has relinquished everything. As I had mentioned earlier, there are 8 important aspects which we all have in our life. Atma Jaya Suta Agara, Pashu Dravina Bandhushu Rajye. 8. Atma here is referred to as body. Jaya means wife. Suta, child. Agara is your house. Pashu, vehicles. Earlier time it was animals. Dravina, money. Bandhushu, relatives. Rajye is profession. Whatever you are. You may be a farmer, you may be a businessman, you may be a salaried employee, whatever you are. Now, these are the 8 things which a grahastha has to take care, but a sannyasi has to take care of only one thing, that is his body. That's it. He doesn't have to take care of anything else. So now, for us is a challenge. So out of 9, if you multiply 12 into 8, so he is only taking care of 12%. Whereas we take care of 96 or close to 100%. So when you are in grahasthashram, you are engaged in all these activities, he says just move on, see divinity, and he says since you are centered in Krishna, nothing will affect you, provided how well we are centered. So sarvata vartamanopi sayogi mai vartate. So though engaged in all kinds of activities, he says nothing should affect him. So this is the deeper learning what we need to understand. There is an assurance given by the Lord. Go ahead, I am with you. And now how do I understand this aspect of that divinity everywhere? First let me confirm that. So he has said in several places in chapter 18 verse 61, he says Ishvara sarva bhutanam hriddeshorjuna tishtati brahmayan sarva bhutani yantrarudani mayaya. He says the Supreme Lord, he dwells in the hearts of all living beings. O Arjuna, according to their karmas, this he directs the wanderings of all the souls, because they are who are just seated on a machine made of material energy. That's it. And then he says in verse 22 of chapter 10, Aham Atma Gudakesha Sarva Bhutasya Stitaha. Aham Atma Gudakesha Sarva Bhutasya Stitaha, meaning I am this self, Atma. O Gudakesha means, O Arjuna, seated in the hearts of all creatures. And he says, I am in the beginning, I am in the middle, and I am in the end of all beings. See? So these very clearly state what is the way how the Lord has created. And how is his vision now? His vision is, as we have seen in verse 18 of chapter 5, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini Sunichaiva Swapake Chapanditaha Samadarshinaha. We have just recently learned this, but it's good to discuss. How do I see divinity? He says, this Panditaha, the real Pandit, is one who has that equal vision. He will see a learned Brahmin. In what way? Learned Brahmin, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and even a dog eater also, an outcast. All these people, he does not see their external appearances, he only looks at the divinity within. So this way, a person who has understood that it is that divinity and divinity alone prevailing in this entire universe, he slowly starts chasing his mindset. And then he says, as is said in verse 29 of the chapter 5, Bhoktaram Yagnatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Suryadim Sarvabhutanam Gnatva Mam Shantimachati. So, one who knows me as the ultimate enjoyer, the supreme Lord, the great controller, and the benefactor of all beings, he attains nothing but peace and peace alone. As far as you think about yourself, you'll only be surrounded by worries, anxiety, fear. But start thinking that inside you, outside you, all pervading is that Ishvara. So then you will only experience peace. And we have experienced this. So in this way now, all these, what are they share? That common theme of seeing that divine essence in all forms and recognizing the unity of equality, which will be inherent only when you have the spiritual vision. So, keeping this in mind, the divinity in all beings, engaging in all activities, use your earlier principles. What way you are engaging? Karma phala tyaga. I am not the doer. Naham karta hari karta. This one practice will take you to the final goal. Naham karta hari karta. If you are able to say this, do this, experience this to the every syllable of it, then nothing can disturb you. And how do we test this? Your own disturbances are the test for you on a daily basis. How much of anxiety you are getting, how much of worry you are being disturbed with, how much of fear you are being attacked with. Slowly you will see that they start reducing. Slowly they reduce, and finally you will come to a stage where nothing will disturb you. So this is the most important part now. We are moving to another dramatic stage in life, not only seeing divinity within ourselves, but seeing divinity around us. And as I told you, don't try to see in everybody initially. Start practicing with your closest ones and enhance that circle. And it will slowly go, because you are not the doer. I am not the speaker, you are not the hearer. Understand this. It is his game which is being played over here, where you are listening to something which he is speaking through somebody else, and he is trying to liberate this jiva. That's it. That is the game. So at no point think that you are there. It is he and he and he and he and he alone. That's it. That is the end of the story. Okay. But we continue. We go on to verse 32. Shri Bhagawanuvacha Atmaupamyena sarvatra samam pashyati yorjuna sukham va yadi va dukkham sayogi paramo mataha. See, if you closely observe, every shloka is taking you one step ahead. Step by step, step by step. No hurry. That is what we are able to see over here. Now, what he says, Atmaupamyena sarvatra samam pashyati yorjuna sukham va yadi va dukkham sayogi paramo mataha. Atmaupamyena sarvatra. Now, this suggests that the yogi uses his own understanding of his Atma. Yeah, I have Atma, I have awareness, I have this body, I have senses, I have mind, all that fine. Now, using this own understanding, he starts relating to others. How is my body, mind, senses functioning? By the light of the Atma which is present within me. And where is this Atma getting that awareness? It's getting this awareness from the Paramatma, all pervading Paramatma. By his light reflecting on my Atma, I am enlivened with awareness, which is known as the Chetana Shakti. Okay? By recognizing this, he slowly starts seeing the same thing is happening to others. Everybody is born the same way and everybody dies the same way. But only difference is everybody has got a different body, a different mind, a different set of senses. And due to the change in their mind and the impact of their senses, they behave differently. So then he slowly starts empathizing with others. Oh, they don't have this knowledge. And this self-referential view, I can understand, but that person is not able to understand. Now with that, what he does is, he moves towards compassion. Compassion in what way? Samam pashyati. He starts seeing everybody equally. When you are sufficiently well-to-do financially, you obviously can lead a decent life. But when you know that the other person does not have the means, then you understand that yes, I have, but he doesn't have. That's the reason he's facing all these financial difficulties. So, samam pashyati, he sees equality, equimanity, he sees everybody in an equal manner, knowing the nuances and the deficient aspects, and he develops a sort of compassion. Now, one should understand there is a huge difference, so-called, between empathy, sympathy, compassion, pity, all this. We normally, what we do is we take everything as same, compassion, sympathy. Now, there is a big difference. Sympathy is when you show concern. Okay, no, this shouldn't have happened to that person. We're so sorry. That is you're just being sympathetic. that feeling of pityness or sorrow for someone's misfortune. It's more about acknowledging their pain rather than sharing it. Then you have another level, which is empathy. Now, empathy involves putting yourself in someone else's shoes and truly understanding their emotions and experiences. You try to feel what they are feeling. So you moved one step ahead of from sympathy, you have come to empathy. Now comes the next level, which is compassion. Now, in compassion, what happens? The empathy aspect comes into action. It involves a proactive element. I want to help this person who is suffering, and I will go out of the way to help this person. See how this is? Now, of course, pity is just a feeling of sorrow and caused by suffering, and he knows that, and often from a distance. There is no kind of a real connect to that person, and some say, I am concerned about that. So this is again a feeling of worry or care of someone's well-being. So this way, these are all different gradations. So now this yogi, he is a compassionate person, not only feeling sympathetic, one step above empathetic, and with his means, whatever way he can, he expresses that compassion and he tries to show how he could share the pain of others. So in this way now, this samam pashyati, he sees that and he gets involved. Now, sukham va yadi va dukkham, be it happiness or suffering, this yogi recognizes. Now, there are two ways of understanding this. His own joy and suffering in life, he maintains that balance. Now, how does one maintain this balance? He knows that I'm only playing a role over here. Whatever situation has come to me in my life has come to teach me something, make me stronger. So I am playing my role, and he just goes ahead and he plays his role without being affected by it. This is one way. Another way is where he works with compassion towards the other person. So in this way, now sukham va yadi va dukkham sayogi paramo mataha. Now one who is able to control himself when there are dualities, joy, sorrow, pain, pleasure, gain, loss, praise, insult. See, these are all the dualities in life. So now he has slowly gained mastery over this. So sayogi, such a yogi, paramo mataha, is considered to be a supreme yogi when it comes to himself. But now we are not all by ourselves. We have extended our sphere of divinity. Yes, others who are there. Whatever way I can help others. So in their joy, in their sorrow, he is there readily available to help them. So such a person becomes a yogi. So this is one of the primary aspects which our Lord is trying to tell us. Rise, rise, and slowly now this is like we are almost coming to the ultimate levels. Once you are established in unity with the entire universe, you're done. There's nothing beyond it. But the first most important aspect is seeing that divinity within yourself. If you are able to get that, then the rest should not be a problem. And another way of understanding this whole shloka is, say there is one, like your own body. Now if your toe is hurt, you will say, what have I got to do? It is somewhere at a distance to me. Do you say that? If your eye is hurt, no, I think I should first take care of my eye. It is very close to me. Let me see about my toe later. No, every part of our body is important because all these limbs are connected to that body. So this particular yogi, a supreme yogi, he says every aspect of the creation is nothing but connected to the creator. So in this way, that Samadarshana, he moves forward, he understands it fully, and he stays established in it. Now this is purely changing one's mindset. As simple as, let's say, you know somebody, you trusted that person, and a very close friend of yours comes and he or she tells, look, this person is not what you have thought. And he tells a few incidents. Now immediately you understand that truth. Your perception towards that person changes. Now we all have experienced this in our lives. We have changed our attitude to so many people. For some people, you might have not had that kind of not heard that kind of so many good things about them. But when somebody who is very close to you again says, no, he is also and so person, some very good things about him, then you change your perception. In the same way here, we have to change our life, and we have that capacity. That's why I'm trying to tell you that we have changed our perception towards several beings in our life, human beings. So in the same way now, when Lord Krishna is giving us that knowledge, yes, I will do this as well. So now what we do is, we have moved to a decent state of our spiritual practice. But today I would like to share with you the 7 bhumikas. Bhumikas means phases, which is told by Sri Vidyaranya Swami. How a spiritual sadhak starts his journey and where does it end. So somewhere we also took a first step. We started somewhere and we are now somewhere. Now where we are, we do not know. We know the goal, but how far are we from the goal or how near are we from the goal, that can be understood only when we know the stages. Say you are going to from place A, you are going to place B. The distance is 100 kilometers. And you look at the milestone and you see, oh, the milestone is saying 79. Then which means you have only 21 kilometers to cover. If you are at say 19, then you have got 81 kilometers to cover. So in the same manner, now let's look in the 7 bhumikas which are explained by Swami Vidyaranya. What are those 7? Where we are and what else is left for us to achieve. Okay, come. So here in these bhumikas, he goes by one principle. For any spiritual sadhak to attain salvation, he says there are 3 essential aspects: Tattvajnana, Manonasha, Vasanakshaya. What is Tattvajnana? What we are learning now. The reality of the Supreme Self, that is Tattvajnana. Second, he says, Manonasha is after you listen to the true knowledge of your true self, naturally the aham which is there in you, that drops down. A reason is aham bhava is what? The false understanding of ourself to be somebody, where we have understood ourselves to be to this body, this mind, this sense, this whole package, and a relationship with whomever we have established in our lives. So this wrong understanding, when it is eliminated by the right knowledge, the manonasha means that aham nasha automatically happens. The stronger the tattvajnana, the faster the manonasha. So that is the second one. And the third point for liberation is Vasana Kshaya. See, your ahambhava has gone. Yes, I know I'm not this crazy person, but your mind still goes on giving you those thoughts which are there within you, inherent tendencies. Continuously it is giving you that, popping in your mind again and again. That are the tendencies which you have accumulated over not 1 or 10 or 100 births, but millions and millions of births. So that Vasana Kshaya has to happen. Okay, keep these three things in mind. Now we'll go through the 7 stages, and there will be 2 types of realization. One more aspect which you need to understand. One is the Videha Mukti we call, and the second one is Jivan Mukti. What is the difference between these 2 kinds of muktis, and at what stage a particular mukti is available to us? Okay, we'll understand this. Come, let's start this journey now. So the interesting part here is now the first stage, Subhecha. Shubha Ichha, Shubhecha. Shubha means good, Ichha means desire. As simple as that. At some point in our life, we got this Ichha of developing our interest towards self-realization, isn't it? At some point, somehow you got this interest, and it also needs some qualities. Many may get the interest, but they will not sustain there. So this interest, true interest, comes when you have started cultivating qualities like a decent amount of vairagya, dispassion, a decent amount of control over your mind, your senses, and an earnestness to seek the supreme truth. Right? So this Subhecha has come, and these qualities, which are at a very minimal level, they start pushing you forward on this. So Vairagya, sense control. You can say these are the first 2 important qualities where you start developing this Subhecha. Now I'll give you a metaphor for this. Just as a seed represents the beginning of the tree's growth, Subhecha represents the initial seed of spiritual realization. So that's that fundamental desire or an intention to grow spiritually and reach higher understanding. Okay? We are all crossed this? Clear? Now we go to the second step. Remember, there are 7. Vicharana, inquiry. At this stage, what happens? The seeker gets into a deep inquiry into the nature of the Atma or the Self, and the Paramatma, and the Jagat, Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara, as we say. He says, what is all this? Where did I come from? And where am I going to go? What is the purpose of my life? So these are the basic questions which starts hitting him. And then he gets into the studying the scriptures, contemplating the scriptures, and engaging in philosophical discussions, reasoning, and he starts understanding between the real supreme truth and the unreal world. Okay. So it is also said Guru Upasadana, where he goes to a Guru. Upasadana is sitting next to the Guru, and then Pranipat, addressing the Guru in the right manner. Pariprashna, asking the right questions. Sevaya, service. Whatever way one can be of service to the Guru, these are the important aspects. And with this, what happens? His journey starts. His or her journey, Shravana and Manana. Now the Guru starts telling the Shishya, this is how it is, this is how it is. Now the seeker starts contemplating on it, Manana. And somewhere there is a doubt. The doubt is clarified. And in this way, now this Shishya slowly comes forward and gains mastery. Now in Panchadashi again Vidyaranya says, Tat katanam tat chintanam parasparam tat prabodhanam etadekam paratvam hi brahmabhyasam vidur buddha. Talking about it, thinking about it, explaining to each other about what? This one-pointedness about that Brahman, that Paramatma and Paramatma alone. So that focus of that on that one reality. So now they call this as, this is called the practice of the study of Brahman. And the wise, Vidur Buddha means the wise realize through such practice. So this contemplation, Brahmavit Brahmaiva Bhavati, the one who understands Brahma or the Paramatma, he merges to become that Paramatma. So in this stage 2, now Vicharana, Shravana and Manana has started. And what kind of a metaphor we can think of? Now that say a lantern in a dark forest. So Vicharana is like carrying a lantern. You're going through a dark forest, and it's olden days, you don't have a torch light. So that lantern you have, that symbolizes that light of inquiry and that investigation, which is illumining the path and dispelling the darkness of ignorance. Okay. Now he moves on. From this Vicharana, he moves on to Tanumanasi. Tanumanasi means nothing but a subtle mind. At this stage, the mind becomes subtle, becomes refined, the focus starts shifting inward, and the distractions from the worldly attachments, they start decreasing. Look at what is happening to you. Slowly all this is happening, isn't it? Your distractions decrease. That is the importance of the third stage. Understand that. So Tanumanasa, the metaphor here we can say is the mind which was initially covered with the dirt, dust, moisture, now that is properly polished. And there is a good shine on the mirror. The mind becomes pure, refined. It starts reflecting the nature of reality more and more clearly without the distractions or impurities. It starts showing itself. So Tanumanasa becomes the third state, where prominence is for reduction in distractions. Okay? I think all of us have crossed this stage. Fourth, Sattvapatti. Attainment of purity. Now this mind which is polished, free from distractions, free from the worldly attractions, slowly established on that divinity, completely focused on that supreme truth. Here the seeker starts experiencing deep inner peace and begins to have that glimpses of that unity of the Atma with the Paramatma. So you can say, as there were no distractions, or distractions have reduced in the third stage, here he sees peace bubbling from inside. Peace he's slowly becoming the nature of peace in his life. That is what is happening. So you can say a metaphor, sunrise after the night. Sattvapatti is like the first light of dawn after a long night. Now, since eons, millions and millions of lives and births, what we had, that's like a long night in darkness. Now, this moment of we learning the supreme truth by getting that knowledge, as the darkness of ignorance is dispelled, the same way the light of realization, it invokes peace in oneself. And such a sadhak now slowly, after that he moves to the next stage, asam shakti. One word for asam shakti can be non-attachment. Now please remember, attachment, one of the, for worldly people like us, attachment means not expecting anything from the other. You might have given your life for that person. Forget it. You have given. Whether that person asked or not, you have given. Don't expect anything. Be it anybody in your life. We see, अरे मैंने उसके लिए क्या नहीं किया. It starts from there. Standard statement. What is that I did not do to this person? And they go on one after the other, one after the other, one after the other. If you have done in the past, ignorant. You were ignorant. Okay, you have done. Now change yourself. Stop expecting anything from anybody. That is non-attachment. At this state, completely detached from the world. There is no identification of this body or mind. Where are you talking of somebody else? You are getting detached from your own body and mind. All the external events and possessions, they lose their significance. Now this individual mind, it remains unaffected by the dualities of pleasure and pain. Got it? When you become a witness, you start experiencing that bliss within, and you are just an actor on a stage. You're playing your role. You're not attached to your own body and mind, meaning you're not attached to the role. See how it is. When you get into the role of an actor, although the actor is performing, but he knows that this is not my nature. I am a beggar in this role, but I am a billionaire actor. He knows that, keeping that in mind, he is completely engrossed in that role and he's doing his action. So this way now this sadhak, he knows that this world has got nothing to offer. In that state, he exhibits and he performs in this world. Once, Swami Vivekananda, they say that he was walking in the deserts of Rajasthan. He was very thirsty and he saw an oasis. At a distance he saw, oh, there is water, and he rushed towards that place and he saw that there was no water. And then he went ahead. Having known that there is no water, he went ahead. He looked back again and he saw there is another oasis. Now, this time when he saw that oasis, he's seeing the oasis was totally different. He was laughing at it. Oh, don't fool me again. I've understood what it is. Like there are some drivers who drive in these deserts of Rajasthan. Suddenly everybody says, oh, there is an oasis there, let's go there. And the driver laughs at them and says, that's not an oasis. In the same way, a yogi, you can compare to him to the driver, who has seen this so many times. He has been fooled by this so many times. He says, no, don't pay heed to that. So the difference is, we also see people in this world. We lose health, we lose relationship, we lose money, and sometimes we even see people dying. And we know that they take nothing. All this is impermanent, it is subject to change, but knowing fully well that it is subject to change, we still chase them, isn't it? So that is that Viveka Shakti. One of the pre-qualifications for being a sadhak is that Viveka Shakti. So here, this sadhak with his Viveka Shakti, just like Swami Vivekananda looked back and he laughed at that when he saw that oasis for the second time. In the same way, we have seen 100 times, but still we don't change. But he says, change yourself. Know that this is of this nature. Understand the true nature. And don't be attached to anything. Give your best. Give your love. Give your compassion. Not empathy or sympathy. Compassion. Do something for others, but don't expect. So, what is the result over here? There is no pain nor pleasure in your life. How we can develop this? By non-attachment. Then the sixth stage comes Padartha Bhavana, seeing that Parabrahman everywhere. I'll tell you when the mukti happens exactly. Now let's finish the 7 stages. Padartha Bhavana is seeing that Brahman everywhere. He sees Brahman in everything. The realization in him is so strong that all objects, beings, persons, experiences, expressions are all nothing but that ultimate reality. It's all experienced by the consciousness through this body, mind and senses. See how beautiful it is. That unmanifest energy through this manifest being is experiencing everything. Now this I, which is merged with that awareness within, thinks that I or me is the doer. So by knowledge, this person knows, I have got nothing to do over here. It is an illusion, it is a hoax, it is a scam. So he comes out of that I, and whatever is happening, he surrenders it to the Lord and he starts seeing Brahman in everything. That is what we learned today. Going to the next level, not only seeing in yourself, but seeing in everything. And then the last stage is Turiya, which is where he's enlightened, liberated. So in this state, that seeker abides in that state of pure consciousness. That is the result. So now what leaves us to understand is that there are actually 6 stages to cross. 7th is crossing the 6th stage. Where are we? We have attained purity, Sattvapati number 4, and we have started experiencing that inner peace within us. So this state we are okay. Now the 5th state is we are slowly getting detached with the identification of the mind and the body. Now, if we come to this 5th state, that is good enough for us. Now, I'll tell you, as far as the metaphors which we can talk about is, for stage 5, he is like that steady mountain, Asam Shakti, that stands firm, unmoved by external forces, where he is stable, unwavering state of that awareness within, undisturbed by the fluctuations of the world. Then in the 6th stage, Padartha Bhavana, he is like that sculptor who has meticulously carved a beautiful, perfect masterpiece. So he is in that state where completely engrossed. And the 7th state, you can say, is the vast ocean where he was a wave. Now, when the wave became silent, it merges with the ocean. So this yogi, what he did, he calmed his mind completely, went within, and he subsided within himself. So eventually became one with the awareness and the consciousness. Just like a wave, if it stops rising, if it just stays still and calm, then that moment itself it becomes a wave. It becomes the ocean. It's no more a wave. In the same way, this Turiyaga state is where the yogi has reached that state, and once being the ocean, becoming the ocean, there is no more doing for that yogi. Now the interesting facts. Okay, person in the fourth state will get videha mukti. Videha mukti means he will be liberated after the body dies. And a person in the fifth, sixth and seventh state will be liberated, will get jivan mukti no sooner he reaches that state. Now let's talk of what is pradhana and what is upasarjana, meaning primary and secondary over here. That is very important for us to understand. Now in videha mukti, the primary aspect is tattva jnana. The moment we understand this tattva, that there is one and one only supreme reality, then you are liberated. Only when you die. When the jiva leaves this body, you are liberated. But liberation is granted. And what is the upasarjana, the secondary aspects over there? Manonasha and vasanakshaya. You are still trying to get through the manonasha, vasanakshaya. In before that, if the death happens, you get that videha mukti, liberated. Now in jivan mukta, pradhana or manonasha and vasanakshaya, and upasarjana means the secondary are tattva jnana. Now the difference in jivan mukta and videha mukta is the feeling of being liberated, meaning not disturbed by anything. That comes to a jivan mukta, where he has completely done manonasha and he has also done the vasanakshaya. So he will not feel anything disturbing about this entire. In his life, while he is alive, he is in that state of mukti, liberation. So this is the primary state. So as I told you, in fourth state, liberation granted, but you are only getting the videha mukti after death. Fifth, sixth, seventh, you are liberated then and there. Whether you are still living or you die, you are then and there. You start experiencing that paramananda, that bliss within yourself. So now understand this logic carefully, and now as we can see, experience divinity within yourself and then slowly extend it to the people around you and start seeing that divinity in the entire world around you. So that will be actually the sixth stage. Before that, if you are able to just get rid of this attachment, then you are already there in jivan mukti state. Nothing can disturb you. Okay. So now we have got an understanding. If you have any questions, then we'll look into it. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Okay. So we now move forward to I didn't want to stop in between. I've taken a few minutes more, but anyway, we'll combine the Aparoksha anubhuthi Sadhana Dhyana. We'll combine it and we'll do. Nothing to worry about it. Whatever time we have, we will make the best use of it. Now, Vishnu Sahasranama 46 Mahabhoga. Okay, we will first read the shloka. Vistarasthavarasthanu pramanam bijam avyayam artho nartho mahakosho mahabhogo mahadhanaha. Mahabhoga, one who is of the nature of bhoga means enjoyment. he being of the nature of bliss. Also, he is the one from whom the great bliss bhoga can be gained by the seekers. In short, the term indicates him as one who gives the greatest happiness to all those who are devoted to him. So now, by his grace we get knowledge, and by his grace the knowledge percolates within us, and by his grace alone we eventually start experiencing bliss. So the one who is the giver of bliss is known as Mahabhogaha. To such an Almighty we offer our humble salutations, seek his grace and blessings to move ahead on the spiritual path. Dhanvantari mantra. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaaya Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrudagalashahastaya Sarvabhaya Vinashaya Sarvaroga Nivaranaya Trailokyapataye Trailokyanidhaye Shri Mahavishnu Swarupa Shri Dhanvantari Swarupa Shri 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 Aushadha Chakra Narayanaya Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaaya Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrudagalashahastaya Sarvabhaya Vinashaya Sarvaroga Nivaranaya Trailokyapataye Trailokyanidhaye Shri Mahavishnu Swarupa Shri Dhanvantari Swarupa Shri 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 Aushadha Chakra Narayanaya Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaaya Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrudagalashahastaya Sarvabhaya Vinashaya Sarvaroga Nivaranaya Trailokyapataye Trailokyanidhaye Shri Mahavishnu Swarupa Shri Dhanvantari Swarupa Shri 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 Aushadha Chakra Narayanaya Swaha. To the Lord of Health, we offer our humble salutations and seek his mercy. We pray to give us good health with a sound mind and all that is required in terms of being a well-qualified seeker and eventually gain the divine wisdom and be established in it. Om Tat Sat. Come. Now let's do our Aparoksha anubhuthi Sadhana Dhyana 11. As we understood in our last dhyana, we have to focus most importantly on going outside the Tripodi, that you are neither the experiencer nor the experienced nor the experience. Okay, you have to move out of all these three. For that, what you need to do, you have to lift your mind, in the sense, drop your mind and lift yourself away from the mind. Focus on your Ajna chakra and intensely focus over there, not seeing. Attentiveness on your Ajna chakra, and that will slowly push the mind down and you will start rising. Through the Brahmarandra, you will start experiencing that entire consciousness all around, and you will be merged with that consciousness, no more in the state of the body. That is what we need to experience over here. So far we have been understanding as what are we not, and now slowly in a few 2 or 3 more sessions we will move to what we are. What is our true nature? We will start meditating on that. Okay, so now just observe intensely on your Ajna chakra, drop your mind and rise into the super consciousness. Be comfortably seated. If you need to get up and walk a few steps, do that. Come back, relax your legs, sit down comfortably, head, neck and spine in a straight line. 3 preparations which we are going to do is Anulom Vilom, Brahmari Pranayam, and we'll chant Om 3 times with the later part of Om elongated. Initial part will not be elongated. It will be, say, for 1/3. 2/3 will be the elongation of Om. Okay, come. Anulom Vilom. Anulom Vilom. Let's chant Om. Now, just to bring in the power of concentration, I'll chant the mantra once, Mahamrityunjaya mantra, and then chant in your mind for 12 times. Mahamrityunjaya or any mantra of your choice, primarily to see that while you're chanting, your mind is located on the Agnya Chakra and does not go anywhere else. So that the subsequent aspect of Anatma Bhava Jnana, that has to go deep into your mind and form a neural pathway. Let's start. ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात्. Continue. 12 mantras totally. Now, having placed our mind on the Ajna Chakra, let's change the neural pathways, all the misunderstandings we have had so far. Shrotram samarpayami, tvak samarpayami, chakshuhu samarpayami, jihva samarpayami, granam samarpayami. The ears and the ability to hear, the skin and the perception of touch, the eyes and the faculty of seeing, the tongue and the perception of taste, the nose and the perception of smell. All these do not belong to me. They belong to the Creator, Prakriti, Paramatma. Make it very clear in your mind that you are not the owner of these senses. This I is a false hoax in our life. Everything belongs to the Creator and Paramatma. The functioning of the ears, the skin, the eyes, the tongue, and the nose, all this is happening in consciousness, by the power of consciousness and through consciousness. I, the Ambhava, has got no role to play in the functioning of these senses. Due to Ajnana, ignorance, I have considered that I am operating all these senses. Om Trambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiv Bandhanan Mrityormukshiyamamritat. The power of speech, the hands, the legs, the genitals, the anus. All these do not belong to me. They belong to the Creator, Prakriti, Paramatma. I completely surrender the feeling that these organs of action belong to me, the Aham Bhava. I am fully aware and I fully know that the power to talk, the power to move my hands, move with my legs, and the activities of the genitals and the anus is all happening in consciousness, by consciousness, and through consciousness. This I has got no role to play in this entire sphere of activity. Om Trambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityormukshiyamamritat. Pranam Samarpayami. All these five pranas, prana, apana, vyana, udana, samana, do not belong to me. They belong to the Creator, Prakriti, Maya Shakti, Paramatma. The pranas are operating due to consciousness. They operate in consciousness and they are in sustenance only because of consciousness. I have got no role to play in the activity of the pranas. Om Trambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityormukshiyamamritat. Manaha, Buddhi, Chitta, and so to say even Ahankara does not belong to me. It belongs to the Paramatma, the Creator, the Prakriti, Maya, Almighty. All these are functioning only because of consciousness, the enlivening factor within this body, within this jiva. The mind is able to gather thoughts. The intellect is able to take decisions. The memory is able to remember and recall. And the Aham Bhava is able to establish itself everywhere only because of the presence of awareness, consciousness. Due to ignorance, I was in a frame of mind that I am this jiva, different from the Paramatma, Ishvara. But now with the grace of that Almighty, Ishvara, Shastra and Guru, I am established in the Supreme Truth, knowing very well that Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya Jivo Brahmaiva Para. Brahman alone is the truth. The world is an illusion. I and the Paramatma are not different from each other. With the strength of the Paramatma, this jiva is able to get established in this knowledge, striving hard to get established. and with the Krupa of the Paramatma, it will soon attain the Paramatma Tattva. With the help of the Tattva Jnana, with the help of Manonasha, and with Vasana Akshaya. Remember, everything what is happening in this body, in this manifest body, is happening by the unmanifest power of consciousness. The one and one alone power of consciousness is the supreme truth. Rest all is an appearance. An appearance means an illusion which is there today and not there after some time. This is the reality, and this is the permanent supreme truth. Aham Brahmasmi. Aham Brahmasmi. Aham Brahmasmi. Slowly come back to your mind from where you started. Become aware of your body, mind and senses. And know that your true nature is the Paramatattva, unmanifest Tattva, operating through this manifest body. The I has got no existence of itself on its own. It's a hoax, it's false, it's an illusion. Slowly rub your palms, place them on our eyes. Bend your head down, look at the floor, and gradually raise your head upwards. Together we offer today's Gita Jnana Yajna at the lotus feet of the Lord. Naham karta hari preranaya hari prityartam Shri Krishna arpanamastu idam namama Om Tat Sat. Good evening to all of you once again, and Shubharatri. So till we meet next, please keep practicing this deep knowledge. We're almost there. You just need to put in that little extra effort. Of course, we are not putting in any effort. Just watch the play and move forward in life. Hari Om.